Hello, this is High Priestess Key 333 coming to you guys, okay, for the one, the two, and the three. That's that knowledge, that wisdom, and that understanding, all right? So let's get to it. Today, I'm talking about, for my High Priestess Key family over here, we're discussing in the verdict in the true sidereal. As you guys know, that's what I resonate with the most. So that's what I'm speaking in reference of. Today is a change in planetary alignment. Pluto goes direct, right? Pluto goes direct into, well, it's in Capricorn, okay? As I have always told you guys, if you look into the planetary alignment with your two eyes into the sky and a telescope, you will be able to see that Pluto sits close to Capricorn, all right? Although they tell you it's in Aquarius, okay, in the Western, but it's actually not. It's in Capricorn. It was retrograde, but it's not retrograde any longer. It is direct. And what you need to know in reference of that, right, which today is the 13th, and it goes direct today, after it's been in retrograde for a very long time, okay? Now, I have a few sources that gave information on this, so I will read from those sources. I always like to give my sources that I like to read on in reference of the verdict and the true sidereal. I always tell you guys about Tamiko forecast. I always talk to you about mastering the zodiacs. I always talk to you guys about the astro, I think it's astro meta. I always talk to you guys about a lot of my different resources. So I research different things, and then I also look at the planetary alignment, and then we're going to pull cards with the ancestors to get the overall energy. Because right now, this is a combination of talking about the planetary alignment, what has changed, and the crescent waning. Okay, so we're in the crescent waning phase right now. The crescent waning phase is us moving into the energy of the new moon. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Okay, now in reference to what I found out about Pluto, which Pluto is a planet that it's funny, I always talk about how Pluto, they actually told us about Pluto, gave us all this information about Pluto, but the ancestors give different information about Pluto. We'll get into that on Patreon, okay? But I will give you the information based off of what we have here from the other resources. So it says, um, Pluto stations direct in Capricorn at the months of retrograde, right? And it is a turning point, okay, to engage in power, transformation, and structures that shape our lives. Pluto shifts directions, which is in Capricorn, which tells us about, what Capricorn brings, right? That's the prayer warrior, okay? Prayer meditation is needed now strongly because of Capricorn energy. Capricorn energy brings about the energy of with that Pluto. But let me tell you about Capricorn so you'll know. Capricorn is the universal law of relativity. So everything with this Pluto in Capricorn going direct is going to give us something in reference of our reality and it being relative to the things that are going to happen in the future, family. That's what it truly is about. So when they give us the things about, yeah, transformation, change, and all of that, we got to look at what is truly in, where it lies in the sky, right? In the cosmos, rather. Okay. So from the standpoint of what you can find this out online and everything, right? So they say Pluto shifts direction. It can feel like something that has clicked back into place. It's immediate change, deep and steady, undeniable change. It often stirs up the shadows, okay, which is true because with that energy of Capricorn, if you're not in alignment with Capricorn energy in Pluto, also, that energy will make you feel out of it. It'll make you feel a lot of negative energy, right? From all which ways in your life, all your chakras will be out of alignment. You'll be lazy. There'll be a lot of things that you can't get clear on. That's because you have to do that shadow. But also, um, Also, with Capricorn energy, family, of what you need to know too is that challenges need to be looked at as lessons with Capricorn energy and Pluto. That's another thing that goes back to Capricorn. Um, but it also says, drawing us inward to confront old fears, buried patterns, inherited dynamics. And also, it goes back to Capricorn. They say Capricorn on here is about discipline and responsibility. That's more of Saturn energy. Um, Capricorn is not connected to Saturn, even though they tell you guys it may be. I don't know in the Western, but I know Capricorn is connected to Uranus and the spiritual energy. Okay, that's what we know. So Uranus is something different. It's something that is connected to Taurus, which is about inspired actions. I'm speaking to you in reference of the universal laws and the spiritual astrology that the ancestors advise, not what man has advised. Okay. So, yeah, so they just give you all of that. I'm not going to go into any more of that because a lot of what they're saying in their information is not what I know from the ancestors. Okay, so but what I will talk about also is more of the planetary alignment of what the VEDIC and the true sidereal rings to, which is the moon and Jupiter are together in exact degree right now in the VEDIC. That is the Puna Navarsu nakshatra. Okay, so that's Jupiter is powerful in its own nakshatra alone. But the conjunction of the moon and Jupiter, that's expansion in that moon. So that's also expansion and deception. That's also expansion in hidden things. And what people are trying to hide will expand at this time, right? Moving into that new moon, things could be revealed. Okay, so that's another way to look at that. It says the moon and Jupiter forms that conjunction, which in the VEDIC, and then it says Gaja Kesari, which is about elephant lion yoga, a combination that encourages an experience of inner steadiness, trust, and said to translate into outer experience of flowing abundance. Okay. Also, when the moon transits Puna Vasu Nakshatra this day on a Monday, the 13th, this is a convergence that supports the dispelling difficulties, the long-standing efforts of one's efforts. So this is a time for you to be putting things into play, okay? The things that you want to make happen, the things that you want to create. This is a very good time. Capricorns are hard workers, okay? Capricorns love to, they love their money, okay? So, and they about business as well. So this is a good time to get into that type of situation. But also, Capricorn energy is also contained and also we're in with that moon and Jupiter. Jupiter is about expansion, but 3 times it, right? So, and it could be whichever way, because remember duality in everything, right? So if you're shifting more towards the moon, because the moon is about hidden things, and that's why also, if you think about that Capricorn, that's direct in Pluto. But then you have the moon and Jupiter together, and that expansion of that moon energy is the darkness. Moon is the darkness. So that is why right now it's a lot of energy of haze, shadow energy. You may be feeling very passionate in reference of your emotions. You may be very emotional right now. You may not be in a great mood. You need to tap in with the shadow. Okay. All the readings that I had today in my personals have been telling people to tap into their shadow or to do shadow work. So I'm advising you guys of doing that right now. Do some shadow work. I have shadow work sessions that are here on this channel. I'm just chucking them out. They're old videos because they used to be all on Patreon only or on my other channel, all in the cards. But I took all of them off of there and I'm just putting them here, and I'll trinkle them out to you guys because we still do shadow work sessions every other Wednesday night on Patreon. So there are new videos every week. Okay. Every other week. Okay. So if you love shadow work sessions, come on over to Patreon. We do them every other week. and there are new topics, new things. We may pull cards. It just depends. But we hold ourselves accountable for doing our own shadow work. We just work together in reference of the message. Okay. So make sure you do yours, because right now is a really good time. And the reason why is because of the chaotic energy within the planetary alignment. Okay. And it's based off of your frequency and how you're vibing. If your vibrations are low, you're going to receive the lower half of that, which would be deception, chaotic energy, an expansion of it 3 times the pain and suffering. But if you're in a high vibing energy, right? And if you're able to control the mind, like I always tell you, once they get your mind, they got you, family. Control your mind. If you can control your mind, you can control your heart, your emotions, vice versa. If you can control your emotions, you can control your mind, right? See how they go together? That's the key, okay? And also the key is duality, all right? Polarity of it all right? So that goes back to that Jupiter energy as well, okay? So I wanted to tell you about that. But the other part, I always have to tell you guys during these crescent or moon phase readings or messages that I always bring to you guys weekly here. I gotta tell you where we stand, right? So of course I gotta pull it up. So where we stand right now is the sun is still Virgo energy. I tell you guys this because a lot of people say, "Oh no, we're being in Libra season already." No, we're not. We don't hit until VEDIC and the true sidereal, which is what you can see out in the sky. We won't hit that until the 17th of this month, which is Friday. Will be in actual Libra energy for the true sidereal and the VEDIC. Right now we're in Gemini moon. Now Gemini moon is bringing in that Gemini moon is bringing in the third quarter moon. Okay. So that lets you know the third quarter moon in Gemini arrives also today. So we have the Gemini moon and we have the Pluto turning direct. So we have a lot of planetary energy. And remember, the Gemini moon being in conjunction with Jupiter, that's a intense energy. It tells me also an expansion of things of technology today, an expansion of things around your living conditions today, an expansion of things being confessed today, an expansion of your rhythm and vibrations today, okay, of you raising your vibrations today. So these are all the things, okay? Also, this is a time also that the ancestors is saying, some of you, it's in reference of you setting those boundaries, getting into the energy of expansion, right? Whether it's you buckling down to do whatever it is that you need to do, whether it's you talking and expressing yourself. Communication is a big thing today. Communication will be expanded this week in some shape, form, or fashion in your life, because of this third quarter moon in the conjunction with Jupiter, okay? Because it's in Gemini. The duality sits in this energy alone, because that's what Geminis are, right? You either create or you either destroy. It's either or with this energy, okay? And if you choose, you have free will. So whatever way you choose, it's going to be 3 times that, okay? If you're working with your ancestors, like I always tell you guys, please to do, you should be working with all 3 generations going back, right? Your grandmother, your great grandmother, your mother, whatever, right? Going back 3 generations. So the third quarter that is here today in that Gemini moon this is a time of questioning what really works. This is about evaluating your life, what isn't working, and also Geminis, it's about that communication and the nature of your communication. What is it that you need to do? Maybe you need to send some emails out, make some phone calls today. Maybe it is time for you to clean up your apps, the way you communicate with people. Maybe clean up your messages, clean up your it's time to get things together. This is that energy, right, of expansion, things that's going to help you expand and expand the way you express yourself. This is a time of critical thinking, okay? And then, for the third quarter moon phase, This is a time where you want to release the things that no longer work for you. And that goes back to that Pluto and Capricorn that's going to direct, which is that shadow work. So you need to get into those things. This is the time, okay? Your mind may be very busy because a lot of Geminis overthink things. You may be overthinking some things. Slow your mind down, do your meditations, okay? As I always tell you guys. And this is a good time to refrain from, you know, like giving up on your ideas. Lighten the load. Okay, this is a time where you want to lighten your load, communicate how you truly feel, and just make sure you're clearing the air all the way around, because that's what Gemini moon is all about, air element. Make sure you're burning your incense, cleansing your energy. Make sure you're taking care of your respiratory system. All right. Make sure you're doing that with this moon energy in Gemini that's here at the third quarter. All right. Um, let's get a message in reference of this crescent waning energy going into the new moon, ancestors, with this third quarter moon being in Gemini. What is it that the collective needs to know, ancestors? I'm just going to pull a few cards for us to see. What is it that the ancestors want us to know? Crescent waning. My cards are going crazy, so it's a lot that ancestors really want to talk. Ancestors, I can't take all of that. I mean, ancestors just don't. I can't even hold them in my hand. It's so much that the ancestors want to say. That's crazy, right? All right, one more shuffle and that's it. Yeah. Okay, so it's a lot of endings. Okay, a lot of endings and a lot going on around the planetary alignment, family. Okay, so the answers is definitely showing me the last quarter, which pretty much is the third quarter, but right, that's what we're moving into. Okay, and so with that energy, the ancestors is saying that right now we're going to see a lot of energy around things ending, right? Be careful of deceptive things, okay? People trying to trick you out of things and deceptive things. The scammers is out very strong. Be very careful, okay? We're going to see some foreign things happen, the end of some things around foreign countries, the end of some things, family, some uncomfortable situations as well as coming to an end. There's some things that are going to be interventions that come in and happen. Some of you are going to have some interventions that are going to start flowing and happening for you, as well as interventions for other things within this country and so forth. Right now, it's all about the health, the wealth, family, and your living styles, right? How things are maneuvering around marriages, fertility, and spiritual growth. Okay, you need to be working on all these things. If they ring to you or it sounds off to you in a special way, please tap into these areas in your life. Once again, I have Gemini that keeps coming up as well in reference of this Gemini moon. So this is the ancestors telling me yes, but also I have like that solar eclipse energy that we have received in September on the 21st. That energy is lingering, okay? And that energy was the solar eclipse that was in Virgo. So I'm definitely feeling that this energy is still here. Ancestors want us to work with our ancestors, the good ones, and your ancestors that weren't so good either. Deities and whatever it is that you have right now, you need to be tapping in spiritually with the ancestors. I have some things that the ancestors are showing me in reference to what you need to be working with. Lavender is one of them. Mugsworth is one of them. These are herbs. Turmeric, which I just had some in my smoothie. Oranges and things of that sort. You need to be working with the color orange. Also frankincense and yeah, that's it. Also the crystals, black kyanite. I have amethyst here, clear quartz, bloodstone, and rhodonite. Okay, those are the crystals that you should be working with. I gave you herbs. I gave you a lot here. Ancestors is saying right now it's about your physical needs. It's about your finances. It's about all of those things that I listed and told you about. It's about healing those wounds right now. It's about loving on self. It's also about being, understanding and being kind to others right now, because it's so much chaotic energy that is flowing inside of the planetary alignment. Let me finish giving you guys, because I got off a task earlier of giving you where we are right now. Virgo is in the sun energy. Gemini is still the moon energy. Mars is in Libra. Mercury is in Libra as well. So we have a lot of Libra energy. The new moon will be in true sidereal Libra as well. So we'll be actually in Libra's energy with the Libra moon. It's going to be a lot of Libra energy. We'll see so much stuff in reference of legal stuff happening. Okay. If you can't, stay out the way. All right. Because we're going to see so much come down with the legal systems, all these different departments of education, Department of Justice. It'd be so much stuff. We're going to see so many things coming across the news in reference of legal things. And also the ancestors said some things that'll change and some things that'll end as well, and a shift in some of those legal situations. All right. And Jupiter is in Gemini as well. So Jupiter and the moon is in Gemini, conjunct at the same degrees right now, which is amazing. Okay. 28 and 29 degrees, okay, right now with both of them. Venus is in Virgo. Saturn is still retrograde in Pisces, and so is Neptune, okay. Rahu is in Aquarius, and Ketu is in Leo. Rahu is the north node, which is in Aquarius, and your south node is Ketu, which is in Leo. Uranus retrograde is in Taurus. Chiron is retrograde in Aries. And of course, we talked about Pluto that is direct right now in Capricorn. All right. So that is the planetary alignment. I'm not going to get into the nakshatras. You just need to know right now we're in the nakshatra that I told you guys about earlier, right? The nakshatra Puna Varsu. Puna Varsu nakshatra, which is about the moon and Jupiter being in conjunction right now. All right. Much love to you guys. I will see you soon. Much love. Peace. High Priestess Key signing off.